fighting back on the subject. RFD-TV's Sarah Mock breaks down the Green New Deal live from our D.C. studio. Good morning, Sarah.
Well, good morning, Janet. We are talking about this Green New Deal. It was announced a couple of weeks ago, but it's taken a little while for some of the details to kind of filter down. There aren't a ton of details on this proposal. It was, of course, passed in the House as a non-binding resolution, just kind of a broad kind of game plan for what they wanted, those Democrats want to do. But we're not seeing a lot of details. The actual part of this proposal that addressed agriculture was really limited. It was just actually a couple of sentences that kind of talked about reducing pollution and greenhouse gas emission by doing things like supporting family farms, sustainable investments in soil health and kind of sustainability measures. And overall, there wasn't a lot of talk within the document about agriculture and rural, but we did hear some of that language coming from the senator when he announced this bill, talking to that constituency.
We know the damage being done to agriculture, to our farmers in America. We know the damage being done to our forests and our forest timber communities. We know the damage being done to our fisheries. This is not an urban problem. This is not a rural problem. This is a problem hurting everybody. And that means it's not a red or blue issue.
Of course, calling for some unity there with that kind of message when this bill was announced, but we have seen a fair amount of pushback since then. We did see last week a group of Republican senators take to the Senate floor to kind of tear this deal apart, to kind of illustrate kind of the Republican side and what they were thinking. We did hear Republicans say that they think that all of the measures encompassed in this bill could cost the U.S. economy as much as $93 trillion. That seems a little kind of insane when you think about it, just because, you know, the U.S. economy is worth about 4 times less than that price tag. But we haven't seen any real announcement or pushback on that from the Democrats, other than that, you know, it's just a proposal. It's just kind of big ideas. There's no price tag because there's no policy recommendations at this point. But we did see pushback, of course, from folks like NCBA and other folks on animal agriculture aspects. We'll have more reporting on that later this morning. But until then, back to you, Janet.
Well, thanks for the update, Sarah. And of course, as she said, we'll check back in with Sarah later this morning in our Washington, D.C. bureau. That'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern with additional updates from the nation's capital. Well, the